Hendo, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on today's win over Swinton Lions. Just give us your immediate thoughts after that victory.
Well, Jacob, I'm really pleased for the team. I'm pleased that the players, did enough to get the job done and earn a result in the end, but certainly not satisfied overall with the performance. I feel that there was some real positive parts to our performance, but again, I do think we made the game harder work than it needed to be honest, with some of our ill discipline. I think we gave 11 penalties away today, 6 in the first half, 5 in the second half. A ball control first half was good, but second half was nowhere near good enough, below our sort of standards, and also the areas of where we turned the ball over too. So, but that's taking nothing away from Swinton today, because I thought they turned up, which they were always going to do. They're in a relegation dogfight. They're a spirited side, they're a stubborn side, and they're a team that can play. And you can see there's a togetherness there within that group. And they've took some big scalps this year. The likes of Toulouse and Batley, Sheffield, Widnes. They've managed to overcome them sort of sides. So we're under no false illusions today that we were going to be challenged by a very good side, and that we were. But I do feel, from a performance point of view, from our standards and our expectations, we probably just didn't deliver that level of performance that we know we're capable of, and what we set ourselves, which ultimately made the game for me, a nip and tuck sort of contest, and one where Swinton, with the last play of the game, had an opportunity to snatch victory from us. So, but again, like I said, we've got to give a lot of credit to the players that they showed enough in the locker to get the job done. So full credit to those guys, and really pleased with the result overall.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments, I think, where we went 10 points ahead, and then Swinton obviously came back into the game and cut that gap again. Do you think, like you mentioned, the discipline, was that all part of them being able to get back in the game?
Absolutely, mate. We just couldn't keep Swinton under enough pressure. So we built some pressure and we'd sort of break them, but we couldn't sustain that pressure. That was the key today, and we'd sort of just come up with like an error or a penalty, which just relieved that pressure, and then fed Swinton with some energy and some field position. And credit to Swinton, they capitalised at certain moments of that game that kept them in the contest. I do feel that there was some fantastic goal line defence from ourselves, and some really good scramble defence at times from ourselves to thwart the attacks of Swinton. So some really good positives there. But yeah, ultimately we did enough to win the game. But we need to address those discipline issues and certainly our ball control for next week.
How are you nervous as well? You mentioned that penalty in the last minute or so. Yeah, how are you nervous at that stage of the game?
Well, it's like, we're a minute to go, and we've got the ball back, and then we knock on at the scrum base, and they get possession, then we give a penalty away, and you're thinking, oh goodness me, like this cannot be. But then again, had we lost the game, then it would have been probably what we deserved at the end of the day. So, because we were in a position to win it, but thankfully we showed enough resolve and resilience as a group, and don't forget, we still had it fairly tough today. We're down to our last 18 available players. We had Paulie and Josh Daly both coming back for their first appearance after long-term layoffs. So really thankful that those two got through the game. We lost Connor Fitzsimmons, after about 25 in the first half, not to return. So that put us under a little bit of pressure too. And it was for those who weren't at the game, real energy-sapping conditions. It was hot. So yeah, I've got to give a massive rap to a couple of our middle unit boys in Brendan Sandy, Jordan Thompson and Ronan Michael. I thought putting in big minutes and a big shift in the middle for us, did a tremendous job. Ollie Pratt was another, I thought, standout for us. Did some really good stuff along with Jesse Dee as well. I thought had some pretty good impact in the game. So overall there was some good performers out there. But I thought the middle unit boys had to put a real shift in today, because we were a little bit sort of disrupted with what we had available, etc. So, but overall, mate, really pleased to come away with a win.
How pleasing to have Josh and Paulie back. Paulie obviously got a massive reception, first appearance this season after such a long time out injured.
Yeah, well, like you said, Paulie just gives you a different dynamic to your game. So again, that's what he brings. He brings presence. He brings power and punch. The way he carries, he's a handful. So again, he just brings that different dynamic, which we probably haven't had a lot of that, this season, but that's just the way the makeup of the team is. But no, it was good, and he made some good contributions today in his first game in 12. I think he's been out for 12 months. So, I thought he made some telling contributions, had some strong carries for us, which was good, and won some penalties for us off the back of those carries. So, it was good that he not only got on the field, but we managed to get him through the game. So, and he got some good minutes under his belt. And obviously Josh Daly again, to deputise in the halves for us, with obviously who we had available this week. Again, first game back, plays a full 80. So, and he didn't look out of place, did some really good things for us today.
6 wins from our last 7 championship matches, building some really strong form as we come towards the end of the championship season.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said probably 7 weeks ago, we sort of just probably changed our mindset and mentality and focused more on us and just trying to get our own house in order, both individually with our individual performance and our collective team performance. And I think, the players have really sort of, responded well to that. And they're adding some really good value, within our sort of meetings and our sessions and what we're doing on the training field. And I just think, there's a real sort of real understanding within the group now. I feel like the pennies dropped to a degree. There's a strong understanding, and I do feel that the levels of performances that we have delivered over the last 7 weeks have been much improved and good. Probably today's one was probably a little bit of a step backwards in regards to what we've seen recently in terms of the performance levels that we've produced in recent weeks. But again, that's nature of sport. You're never going to always be there. You aim to have excellence and strive to be perfect every week. It's never going to happen that way, and sometimes you have to win ugly and find ways to win. But we're in a good place at the moment, and the boys will be ready to go for Bradford next week.